Have you ever pondered why the Gospel of Mark ends so abruptly? The Gospel of Mark, believed by many scholars to be the oldest of the Gospels, was composed roughly around AD 70, some 40 years after Jesus' crucifixion. This Gospel narrates a most unusual ending. 3 women finding an open tomb and a young man declaring Jesus' resurrection, then silence. The women, trembling and bewildered, flee, telling no one out of fear. Now that's a cliffhanger of biblical proportions, isn't it? So, let's dive into the ending that leaves us all in suspense. Picture this: Mary Magdalene and her companions, carrying spices to anoint the body of Jesus, arrive at the tomb. What they find is not what they expect. The tomb is open, and inside sits a young man dressed in a white robe. His words strike them like lightning. "You are looking for Jesus the Nazarene who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here." He instructs them to relay the news of Jesus' resurrection to the disciples. Their hearts pounding, their minds whirling, the women flee from the tomb. Fear has seized them and they remain silent, not uttering a word of this to anyone. This is the point where the Gospel of Mark abruptly ends. The women's fear, Jesus' empty tomb, and the young man's message hang in the air, unfinished. And just like that, the Gospel ends, leaving us with more questions than answers. Scholars have been intrigued by this abrupt ending for centuries. Some interpret it as an invitation to each reader to continue the story in their own life. Others suggest Mark intentionally left it open-ended to emphasize the awe and fear of the resurrection. In later versions, an extended ending was added, featuring Jesus' dialogues and disciples preaching. The Gospel of Mark, with its abrupt ending, continues to intrigue and inspire us, reminding us that there's always more to learn and explore in our spiritual journey.